There it is. All right, Tubby, I'm sure we have a better line. All right, tell me exactly your experience yesterday tailgating in the Burke lot and what the issue is.
Okay, so I arrived at the Burke lot. It was right around 8 o'clock in the morning. And I spoke with John Hazick, who's I guess for all intents and purposes, he's the president of our tailgating group called the Burke Airport Tailgate Society. And
the Burke Airport Tailgate Society. Hang on, I remember.
Does he have a T-shirt with that on there?
Yeah, we have it. Yeah, there's a Facebook page. And, if you look for it on Facebook, it'll say you have to look for it under Burke Airport Tailgate Society.
Okay.
Or we call ourselves the Bats.
Bats.
Anyway, he showed up that morning, and they weren't going to let him in because he has a trailer. There's another guy, Big Larry. He has like a fifth wheel. It's like a little camper. And the authority there at the parking lot wasn't going to let them in. And they were like, why? And they said, well, there's no more campers, no more trailers, no more tents, you know, those little pop-up pavilion things.
Mm-hmm.
No more of those, and no more loud music. And they weren't going to let them in. They were going to turn them away and send them home. But they finally did allow them in that morning, and they said, look, this is the last Sunday. You're not going to do it the rest of the season. So you can't have, like, the big speakers. You can't have none of that. No charcoal, only propane or whatever, and any alcohol or whatever. All your drinks must be in Solo cups.
All right, is that big a deal to have to? All right, let me just go back on a couple of these. Solo cups, is that a big deal?
No.
All right, so I think if they can just compromise on that, at least it changes the liability a little bit. I mean, if it's not in a glass, you don't want the glass down there. You don't want all that stuff going on. Solo cups I can deal with. The trailers, the campers, I think are interesting.
Yeah.
Because we pay for the spots that they take up. It's not like we're paying it's not like we're just paying like $20, or it used to be $20. This year now it's $25 to park there. So it went up. Normally we pay for the spots that our equipment occupies. Like if you have a tent, the standard practice was, okay, I buy the spot that my car's in, and then I buy the spot next to it for my tent, so I have room to set up my food and stuff. So they're getting paid for that space, but apparently they're no longer allowing that.
So what are you guys going to do, Tubby?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I don't know. I guess we're going to try calling the parking lot authority and find out exactly what's going on, see if it was like a miscommunication like it was at the preseason game or what. I also heard a rumor that the Browns had subleased all the surrounding lots except for the Muni lot, and that's why there was like the raise in price, and they're trying to instill these new rules to drive everybody to go to that new dog pound lane or whatever.
To go to the lane. Although I don't know those. I mean, but those lot. I don't know how the Browns can sublease the lot from the city. Maybe they did. From what I had heard is, especially like, where do you park for the game? Just out of curiosity.
I park over right by the Lake Erie.
All right, so you're off on the lake. I'm in the pit. Basically, is where we are. But that's owned by the Port Authority, the one where you're parking. So the Port Authority figures out what they want to do on that. The Browns have to get those spaces from them. Same with all the other places. My recommendation to you, Tubby, is you guys should find some parking venue, and there's a number of them. I'm not going to start giving out names. I would go and try to find a lot that's close and tell them, look, we're going to bring all our business to you, especially if they're a place where they are, and then maybe if they were smart, they'd do some kind of shuttle bus and take everybody down. I mean, that is a great way to make money. If they let you do what you want to do in the rules, they're making money, even if it's just maybe a mile and a half away. If I owned a parking lot, I would be embracing you in 2 minutes. Come to my lot. And I bet if you guys, if you have this group together, the Burke Airport Tailgate Society, maybe you just move the whole thing to a place where they'll take care of you and then figure out some kind of bus system to get over there.
Right, because there's there's a good crew. I mean, there's like 50 or 60 of us that show up. So,
Tubby, I'm with Andy. I would find somewhere else. I would find somewhere else and just don't give them their business at all.
I mean, if you don't like the way they're doing, the only way you can cut them off is by not patronizing them. That's all there is to it.
Right, exactly.
All right, Tubby.
I don't know what we're going to do. We'll figure it out. But thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Otherwise, great win.
Tubby, hang in there, man. Seriously, on Sunday, give me a call or hit me up on Twitter or something, and we'll try to help you out during the morning.
All right, no problem.
All right, buddy.
All right, Tubby, thank you. Appreciate it.
We didn't even get the real Tubby.
I know.
I wanted Tubby driving mad.
All right, we get the real Matt Lodi, though. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
You look like, for a guy that writes for Steelers Gab, you look like you're at a police lineup this morning.
I know. Well, I'm trying to be as indiscreet as possible this morning, so just standing in the kitchen, making sure everything's going all right this morning, you know.
You better put those sunglasses back on if that's what you were trying to do.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey,
what's up, Andre?
What's up, buddy? Let me ask you this. Watching that Thursday night game, and I don't like going too far. You and I have talked about this. I don't like going too far one way or the other on Thursday night games, especially when you had a game like the Steelers had against the Browns on Sunday. But I thought in the second half, Baltimore start physically beating Pittsburgh, and you don't see that very often.
Yeah, I mean, the word I always come up with, and it's the word that, you know, as reporters or whatever you want to, you know, that we've heard a million times, it's imposing your will. Yeah. And I thought Baltimore really did a good job of that on Thursday night. I thought the Steelers really got taken out of their element. Early in the game, you had the turnover on the first drive when Justin Brown fumbled, and that really kind of killed their momentum. And, you know, and honestly, I think, you know, that in that environment, when things start going bad, and Andre and Andy both have been in Baltimore, and I've been in Baltimore, that crowd can get crazy, and especially on a Thursday night with everything that went on this week in Baltimore, I'm not necessarily surprised things got out of control. I didn't think it'd be a 20-point game, but, you know, whether, like Terry Francona says in baseball, whether you lose by 20 or by 2, does it really matter? For the Steelers, they need to regroup because they got another tough game this week in Carolina.
Yeah, they do. The other thing that I'll say to you, I said this to Andy before we started, I think Cincinnati, by the way they beat Atlanta, they probably are the best team in the AFC North. Just your thoughts on the North right now as a whole.
Yeah, I agree, Andre. I think Cincinnati, you know, whether you like them or don't like them, and I've always kind of been a big, you know, I've kind of been a critic of Andy Dalton, but he played a heck of a game yesterday without A.J. Green. I think with Giovanni Bernard, that running game has a whole new element to it, you know, even without BenJarvus Green Ellis, who they released in the released before the season started. I look at that team and their defense. If their defense can stay intact and Dalton can continue to play within himself, I think that's a very good football team. I do still think it's a 3-team race. I got to be perfectly honest. I think Baltimore, even with all their shortcomings and all the off-the-field things, are going to stick around. And I think the Steelers have too much talent. That defense is still going to get itself righted, as they seem to do every single year. And I think they're going to be in the mix. I mean, don't forget, we're talking about 3 teams last year, you know, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, that struggled, and they still almost made the postseason. Right. And Cincinnati at times did struggle. They did make the postseason. Cincinnati's big issue, as you guys obviously know, is they got to find a way to win in the postseason.
Yep. All right, so you're not worried about the Steelers. They are what you saw in the first 2 quarters, not the last 6.
Well, no, I'm not going to say that. I don't know yet, Andy. I mean, as I was talking to somebody yesterday, it's such a short, you know, you've got 8 quarters of football under your belt. I don't know if we can really tell who any of these teams are yet. I would say that there's been some good, and there's certainly been some bad. I think the next 2 games, a road game in Carolina on a Sunday night, and then they come home to take on a pretty not so good Tampa Bay team. I think you've got to get a little bit further in the season before you start making, you know, qualifications of where these teams are. But right now, I'd have to say they showed enough good, at least early on, with Le'Veon Bell. Some of the way, you know, obviously they did things in that first half of that Browns game. Their defense was playing very well in that game. I think let's just, you know, before people start to push the panic button, which is so easy to do in this league because, you know, you immediately lose the game.
Push the panic button. We're good with it. You can push it. We're excited.
Don't push it.
I'm kidding.
No, I mean, and listen, the Browns played very well yesterday. I thought, you know, and again, that's the type, it kind of reminded me a little bit of that Miami game a couple years ago when Colt McCoy got the ball late in the game, drove him down the field, and won the game. They did exactly what they needed to do against a Saints team that I think is a little bewildered right now. I was in the Saints locker room yesterday, and you know, it was interesting. We watched 4 defensive backs, Kenny Vaccaro, Keenan Lewis, and 2 other guys sit there and talk about that last drive, like just right in front of us. We weren't talking to them. They were talking to each other going, what just happened out there? Because they had no idea what they were doing out there. I think Rex Ryan and that defense, they really let that team down yesterday late in that game.
All right, we'll make sure we read you on SteelersGab.com, right?
Yep, absolutely. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right, let's go back to Kenny Rhoda real quick. Hi, Kenny. Final thoughts as we head down the stretch run here.
It's not always the best team that wins the game, but the team that plays the best that day. And that's what happened yesterday with the Cleveland Browns. They played the best yesterday to upset the New Orleans Saints, even their record at 1-1. Brian Hoyer's your starting quarterback. We'll see what he does this week against the Baltimore Ravens, but they got a win where a lot of us thought they would not get a win. The offensive line is the strength. The running backs are benefiting from it, and then Hoyer's benefiting from the running game. Defensively, they've got to find a way to stop the run. With that deep defensive line that they have, guys, they shouldn't be able to be run upon like this, and that's something that Coach O'Neill and Coach Pettin, who's a defense-minded head coach, they've got to get that taken care of, or other teams are going to rack up 150-plus and use that to their benefit. But it's a feel-good day. As you look at the AFC North, Cincinnati, to me, was the preseason favorite. They're 2-0. Everybody else is 1-1. And I agree with Matt a little bit. We really don't know, I think, for the Ravens, Steelers, and the Browns, what this team really is about yet. We're going to find out more about them moving forward. But the Bengals, they're the favorites in this division.
Yeah, you know, you look at it. When I look at this division, and I said this to Matt, Kenny, and I'll say it to you, I hate judging off those Thursday night games. And that Thursday night game, I'm not used to seeing Pittsburgh get manhandled in the second half, but I didn't take it too far because it was a Thursday night game where they had to travel to Baltimore. Well,
the Steelers, for the last 6 quarters, have been outscored 50-9, guys. Ooh. Think about that now. Up 27-3 on the Browns in the first half, outscored 50-9 in the last 6 quarters. Their D-line, their O-line sucks. Cameron Hayward's been a bust from Ohio State. I didn't like the pick of Shazier. I thought they needed help in their secondary with Darquez Dennard. Their O-line, all the high draft picks they've used on it, it hasn't panned out. The only reason they're a playoff contending team is because of one player right now. He's the only true superstar or even Pro Bowl player, in my opinion, on that team right now, and that's Ben Roethlisberger. Without Ben Roethlisberger, the Steelers are picking in the top 5 of the draft next year. Because of him, they have a chance to be a wild card team. That's how bad the D-line and the O-line are, and that's where teams in the AFC North, I think, can take advantage of them.
All right, Kenny, thank you very much. KennyRhoda.com. I'll talk to you on the radio. When do we have you? Thursday?
Well, Wednesday on the radio, and today I'll be in for Drennan on the newly named Drennan Live from 3:30 to 7:30 with Chris Beanie Wells breaking down the Browns win, Ohio State's win, Kyrie Irving MVP in the FIBA World Basketball Championships, and the Indian season pretty much over.
That'll be fun. Beanie,
Kenny Rhoda.
Beanie did a nice job on the radio the other day, too. I don't know if you listened to him do Ohio State pregame, but he did a really nice job there, too.
He's looking to get in it. He's trying to make a comeback off the ACL next year. If that doesn't work out, he wants to get into media, and he's doing a nice job. I'm looking forward to chatting to him about it today on Drennan Live.
All right. Thank you very much, Kenny. We'll talk to you later. Have fun.
See you guys.
Take care, Kenny.
All right, here we go. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts for me. Victory Mondays are the best here in Cleveland, Ohio. I can't wait to listen to the Andy Baskin show with our old friend. I'm dead serious. This is the fun days because...
See, but here's the thing. Okay, so we do therapy Monday, right?
Yes,
but
I know.
you can have therapy and have good therapy.
Absolutely.
I was like, I'm getting all these
I know.
middle finger things yesterday saying, oh, well, tell Andy Baskin, blah, blah, blah.
Can I get one thing from you on your show? I
Go ahead.
love on Fridays when you play the clips.
Yeah.
I just want one time, and I love you, where you go, Mr. Mayor! Mr. Mayor! Those clips are the best to me.
Where's
Mr. Mayor when we need him?
Where's Mr. Pasquale right now?
Yes, Don is probably just waking up, I would guess.
Have you talked to him lately?
Yeah.
No, I saw him. I saw him at the Mid-American Conference. I don't know if he saw me, but I was sitting behind him.
You didn't try to go talk to him,
I actually was sitting there. I think it was with Josh Shabo, our friend.
Right.
And I said, do you think I should go? Oh, no, it was Anthony Lyman.
Okay,
That's
it's one of our other
worse.
friends, yeah. Even worse.
I think we should send him a Dogs in the Run t-shirt.
We should.
All
We
right,
should try to get him on Dogs in the
Send the
Run.
mayor. You know what'd be fun? Let's get him on the show.
We should get him on the show.
I won't argue with him
Can you handle
anymore.
that?
What? Well, I just think I'll go back to where I was. We will never agree on what he did after LeBron won the championship. And again, the whole story, and without going into it, but the mayor came out after LeBron won his last championship and didn't feel like it was. You got your native
should've left
son.
Cleveland.
You've got your native son here, and then he started ripping Dan Gilbert.
Right.
And I didn't think it was right. So we had a little controversy about there. We got into the gambling issues here in town.
It was great radio. And I only bring that up because I feel like you're going to have a moment like that today when somebody calls for the 8th time and says, Joe Hayden stinks. Let's rejoice and enjoy today and enjoy it tomorrow because on Sunday, this is going to be a tough game, and I want that crowd to be the same way come next Sunday.
All right, I'll give you my final thought here, too. Enjoy the victory. I know we talked about it a little bit, but I'm just done complaining. And I think the one thing yesterday did for me was it made you realize once again how hard it is to win in the NFL. We were in the same exact situation 1 week ago, and we knew what Ben Roethlisberger was going to do. Yesterday, we didn't know what Brian Hoyer was going to do. And to me, Brian solidified the job for at least a few more weeks. I still think there are folks out there that want to say he's a game manager. They want to go out there and say he's a 4A football player. Fair enough,
Yeah,
right?
fair enough,
That they
fair
don't
enough.
feel like he's a regular everyday starting quarterback, but they kind of feel he's a little bit better than a backup. All Brian Hoyer did was go out there and win. It may not have been pretty, but today we're talking about a victory. That's my final thought.
4-1 as a starter for the Browns. Hard to complain about that, people.
That'll do it. Eric, the referee, nice job today. Our pre-show meeting was outstanding, which we didn't have again. You had a big weekend this weekend.
Good job, buddy.
Why are you throwing a flag?
Because he didn't do it all show.
Yeah. It was a clean show, so got to throw the flag at the end.
I'll throw the flag back at you. I was short.
Thanks,
That's
buddy.
the first time I
Good
did
job.
that. Eric had a great
Your
weekend
arm
this
looks
weekend.
like Johnny Manziel.
Eric, thank you very
He
much.
didn't do the pirouette first.
Oh, you're going to lose my
sorry,
ear out.
I don't wanna
Was
rip
that
your
you
ear
doing the Carlton?
It's not. I'm not doing the Carlton until they win 5 games.
All right, I'm done. We'll see you tonight on News Channel 5, 5, 6, and 11. Mike Cairns has you taken care of there. What do you got coming up
I'll
radio-wise?
be at the Hooley House starting at 3 o'clock. Josh Cribbs will join me at 5 o'clock. Hooley House in Westlake. Should be fun tonight.
All right, I'm over at 92.3 The Fan from 10 to 2, so we'll talk to you there. I'm sure I'll be on the noon show.
Therapy Monday. Here it comes, baby.
All of it. Thank you for watching Dogs on the Run. We appreciate it. And, of course, until then, be a dog on the run.
Dog on the run. Dog on the run.